Now a little box jumps up on your screen. There's a little blue box that says "Got it." Click that, and then that'll clear out of the way, and then we're ready to go. I'm going to mute everybody. Okay. And we begin sitting. You want to be sitting on whatever your chair is. Sit towards the front edge. So just your buttock bones, your sits bones are on the chair. Hands resting on your thighs or stacked in your lap like this. And chin slightly down, just a couple postural adjustments when we do our sitting meditation. Chin slightly down so the back of neck opens. Crown of the head is then sort of as if lengthening up. And then also in the pelvis, we want to not be slouching back in the chair. So we have to just slightly be tipped forward on the pelvis. And that right there aligns our central channel. Central channel. So the three main concepts we're working on that come from Tai Chi and Qigong and Taoist view of the body. Zhongzheng, which means central upright. So that's, again, from the crown of the head down through the middle of your body, down through the buttocks. And if we were standing, it would go down through the legs. But because we're sitting, it's kind of going through the legs, but it's also using the chair to get down to the ground. So our central upright intact. And then we consider this idea Chungwon, which means softening into stability, softening and settling into stability. So many times when we're thinking about stabilizing ourselves, we sort of grab onto the body and try to hold it where it is in space, but that makes us top heavy. Rather than find that central line and then relax, and there's a sort of settling of the sediment, like in a glass of water, if there was a bunch of dirt in the water and you just left it there, all of that would come to settle down at the bottom. So that's a good sort of metaphor for how we want to find groundedness, sturdiness, and stability. That requires that we relax the tissue, relax the musculature. And in order to do that, we have to relax the nervous system and the brain. So to help with that, the breathing. In through the nose, a long, smooth breath in. A light hold, a long, smooth breath out of the mouth or the nose, and then a light hold at the bottom. And then when you're ready, a nice long inhale, hold, long exhale, hold. So we're slowing down. Take a nice breath in when you're ready. All the way to full. Hold. Long, smooth breath out. And hold. Let's do that about 10, 12 more times. Just consider this idea. You're shifting the mode of your brain and nervous system and body from sort of doing and active and highly conscious in a sort of tense way to this relaxed, open, settled, easy sort of way. And so that third principle starts to show up. We have, again, the first one, zhongjang, or central upright. Chengwen, soften and release, so that you find that stability with that settling quality. And then the third is Qingling, which means light, nimble, agile, movable. So what's left, if we have our upright and we relax excess tension, we don't just fall into a puddle, right? In fact, we find buoyancy. We find a sort of integrity that holds us up that isn't tension, but it's more like liquid. It's more like hydraulic. And so then when we practice our movement with that quality intact, then we're practicing Qingling, light, nimble, fluid, very Tai Chi quality. And that's what we want to learn more and more to rely on as we are aging, because that's something we can improve all the way down, is this nimble, light, agile quality. So now that you've got hopefully some sort of sense of that quality, then we go into our little movements here. So place your hands on your thighs. We'll, again, stay relaxed and just slide the hands, the elbows back, lift your chest a little and lift your chin, look up to the sky. But can you do that with ease? Just nothing too forced. Then slide your hands forward, elbows come to a straight position, chest hollow back, drop the head and round the back. Just very gentle. And then again, slide the hands, elbows back, lift the chest, arch. And then slide your hands forward, chest hollows back, head drop. We'll do it again. Inhale as you slide hands back, elbows back, arch. Exhale as you slide hands forward, rounding, drop the head. So we're moving our body, but we're using this Qingling quality, this nimble, light, easy quality, rather than grabbing our bodies, tensing our bodies, and yanking them around, which is essentially what most folks are doing, regardless of Parkinson's, no Parkinson's. But it's just that with Parkinson's, you can't really get away with that as much because there's this other sort of chaos that's happening, right? So the power of learning Tai Chi movement can really help with that, the sort of symptomatic issues with Parkinson's. Now, come to neutral. That was forward and back. Now we slide left hand forward, right hand and elbow back, turn the shoulders, turn the head. So now we're rotating to the right and then turning back and rotating to the left. And again, stay soft. Less important, the idea of how far you get. Don't worry about how far you rotate. Instead, pay attention to the quality of the tissue, joints, and nervous system throughout the entire range of the movement. So that even if you were just moving the teeniest little bit, but you were staying soft and loose, and then that would slowly grow because your body sloughs off tension, areas of the body that are subconsciously stuck, they kind of open, and all of a sudden you find like, whoa, I can move without force. And one more. And then back to middle. So keep this idea. Each round, the whole goal, the real challenge here is don't go back to that habit of grabbing onto the body and doing something. Ooze silkily through movement. Hang your arms. Same thing, stay very loose. Now change your weight to your right buttock. lean to the right. Now just float this left wrist. Again, this is a challenge. Don't tighten up and pull it up. Just stay very light and nimble and just float the wrist up. And then change sides. Shift over to the left buttock. Left hand reaching down, right wrist just floating up a little bit, loose. And then change weight. We're shifting across to one buttock, the other empty, maybe even this foot just gets empty. Spinal column gently leaning to the right. And then we change and lean to the left. And notice you can execute this movement without tension, without force. Almost like you're falling through movement. And then we want to use that feeling to do all the different movements we're going to do. Just establishing that here on the chair so that we can maybe feel it when we stand up. Now back to middle. Shoulders. Shoulders here, which again, arm bone plugs into the socket of the shoulder. But what's really moving here is this shoulder blade on our back. So the shoulder blades spread apart. The arms and shoulders kind of migrate in front, and then lift up and shoulders slide back and squeeze together, and then they slide down the back underneath and come forward again. And let's just circle these shoulder blades. When you look at the anatomy of the body, the shoulder blades are one of the most complicated areas because they have multiple, almost double-digit attachment points. They attach to the spine, to the rib cage, to the up through the neck and skull, out to the arm. And so they're a common place for congestion. And so we're just loosening that up so that we can allow our arms to hang naturally rather than grabbing and holding them on. Now reverse that. Go back and then up, over the top, forward and down. So think of this again, just like cleaning out an area that has congestion, right? Like your attic or a room that's got a bunch of crap in it, right? We want to just clean it out so that there's air, there's room, there's space, there's light. And the body is full of these areas that require this treatment to clean it out. All right, now arms hang, arms are loose. Bend your elbows, bring your hands up close to the shoulders. Now just flare your elbows out and up, and then they come down. Then they come around in front and touch, if you can touch. Touch elbows, and then down, and then out and up. Down, around and in and squeeze. And down. Out and up. Down. Around and in and squeeze. Now, elbows back, straight back behind you. Down, forward, up. Forward, down, back. Again, we're just cleaning out these areas. Down, forward, up. Forward, down, back. One more. And remember that quality we're talking about? Ching Ling. You want to be using that quality, that floating, buoyant movement more and more. Now, elbows out, palms facing down, go one above, one below, cross. Hug your own torso. This closes the front and opens the back. And then elbows go out and then switch. Close the front, open the back, and then elbows go out, which opens the front. And then we switch again. Open, switch again. And down and release. Legs, scoot a little bit back on your chair. Right knee up, right heel pulls in, and then we push the leg out. Bring it back to this loaded position and then set it down, switch legs. Load, unload, reload, down. Load, unload, reload. Continue. Down. Now, right leg straight, point, flex the foot. Invert, evert, the foot tilts a little in, tilts a little out. And then circle. Reverse the circle. Switch feet. Point and flex. And invert, evert, that little tilt. And then circle. Reverse the circle. And down. Scoot forward again. Front edge of your chair. Now, step your feet wider apart than your hips. Not super wide, but just a little bit. Now, lift the toes off the ground. So the heels are the only thing touching the ground. Turning from the hip sockets, from this groin area, turn your legs in. Internal rotation, knees and toes pointing in, and then lift your toes and turn out. Open this space, the quad, the groin area. And then close in, open out. Close in, open out. We'll do a few more and pay attention to the pelvis, spine, rib cage, head and neck, this whole axillary skeleton. Try to get this feeling that your legs are sort of separated from that, so that your legs are moving freely through their full range, and it's not impacting the positioning of the pelvis, the state of the spine. Eventually, that's this feeling in Tai Chi, is that these parts, these body parts move in such a way that it just flows through. It's not pulling, it's not yanking on the relationships. It's these relationships are loose and free and open. And back to neutral, legs back to hip distance. Now a couple of these forward folds. Now the legs don't move, the pelvis and spine do move. Fold, and then sit back upright, and then tip a little bit back. So the same junction that we were just moving the legs from, now we've inverted the relationship to the legs are not moving, but the pelvis is moving. And so this is kind of the powerhouse right here, this pelvic leg, lower back belly area. This is the powerhouse of the body that, in a lot of my work with folks, I find that this is where it's closed, it's stuck. And so as you open this up, you're going to find freedom of movement in all different directions and more balance. All right, now sitting upright. Now we're going to stand up and sit down using this exact relationship. So bring your feet back a little bit under you. Arms loose, just like we took our time loosening up. Fold from the hips and let those arms migrate out in front of the ankles a little. And let the weight go into your legs, come all the way up to standing. And then from that same groin, hip, leg relationship, fold, arms loose, fold the entire body, right? Sort of compresses like a little folding chair. And then sitting in your chair. So again, can you use that Ching Ling quality to execute this movement? Soft, loose, relax the whole way. And then folding, soft, letting these joints and tissues just slide and glide around each other, rather than how we often tense up, especially when we're about to stand up, which is, you know, our balance feels like it's in danger, we usually tense up in some way. Can we stay relaxed? Now let's do a couple squats. So from your standing position, don't sit in the chair. Use this exact movement to now get your fingertips close to your shoes. Maybe even touch the floor. And then push through the earth. And the key here is that you do sit your butt. The butt goes back and then you sink. And hang those arms near the floor. And then we're back up. Again, fold, sink, rise. And then one more. Okay, now you got your chair on your left side. Walk over to it and face that chair. Fingertips touching the chair. For safety, now rock into your toes. And then back to the middle, and then rock into your heels. And then rock into your toes. And rock into your heels. Now, rock into your toes, stay in your toes, lift your heels up, get to the tippy toes. Then lower the heels down, staying in your toes, and then rock back to your heels, and now pull the toes and the front of the foot off the ground, and then lower it down and rock forward, lift, lower, rock back, lift the toes, down, one more of each. Forward and lift. Down. Back and lift. Now, find the middle. Now, watch me for a moment. Now I've got my hands on the back of this chair for sturdiness. I'm walking back. Then from here, folding at that same hip crease. Butt sticks back, leg stretch, all the way down, back stretch along the back. So go ahead and try that. Just go to the point where you feel a good little bit of stretch to your tissue. Don't force it, but just stick the butt back. It's basically like downward dog from yoga. This is a great one to do when you're waiting for your tea kettle at your countertop. You can just place the hands and stick the butt back and open that whole back layer. And then let's lift the chest and bring the butt a little bit forward just to take the edge off. So you come up out of the stretch and then go back in. One more round. Stick the butt back. This also gives us a nice shoulder stretch. And let's come out of it. Chest comes up and then walk your feet forward. Get back to vertical. Turn and face the front. Now, you got your chair on your right side. Turn your right foot out just about 5 degrees and take your left foot out in front and touch the heel to the ground out in front, right? Take your left hand onto the front of your left thigh. So I'll turn sideways so you can see what I do here. So from standing, now I'm sticking my butt back, and again, use your chair in your right hand, and slide your left hand all the way down, maybe it's your shin, maybe you even get to the ankle, maybe even near the foot, and then let's come all the way back up to standing. So this back foot leg bends, the knee bends, kind of like we're doing a squat on this side, but this leg is straight. And you stick the butt back and you slide it down. And then you come back up. And so now we do this with a particular flow. Left hand goes down the outside of that left leg. So the outer backside, around the foot or ankle to the inside. And when you come up the inside of the leg, past the groin, all the way up to your belly button. Go around the outside And then from the lower back down to the tailbone, down the outside of the leg, all the way around. And then all the way up past the groin to the navel. Go around the outside of the belt meridian to your lumbar spine. From there, clear it through, down the outside, around, and up the middle. Let's do one more. Now, put your weight into this leg, front leg. Hand is on your chair, back foot is back, and you're gonna forward fold, right? And so watch me here. Notice I'm just turning sideways so you can see. The goal is to have this leg in line with the torso and that we fold down like you're trying to pick something up off the ground, and your leg comes up and then come all the way back up to standing. So again, we're folding, hand is on the chair for balance, folding, leg comes up, torso comes down. So it's kind of like think of a seesaw. So our middle pivot and this hip is the center, and we're leaning and rising. And just go down only as much as you can, but try to keep this soft quality and just fold. Feel that buoyancy through the body. This really helps us find our middle, right? Because sometimes we're holding on in the upper body. We got to find our middle is more in the belly area, pelvic, belly, lower back, that whole region. Okay, let's do that same little flow on the other side. So side step, get closer to your other chair. Your left foot, toes turn out a little bit, 5 degrees. Put your right foot in front with the heel touching. Again, we've got this little relationship. Right hand on the thigh. Stick your butt back. Slide that right hand down the thigh to the ankle or foot. And then come all the way up to standing. And then stick the butt back and fold. And then rise. Now let's do that channel flow. So the right hand goes down the outside of the leg, around the foot or ankle to the inside, all the way up the inside, past the groin to the navel, belly button. Go straight out from the belly button, around the side, get to your lower back. That's your belt meridian. Go from there down to the tailbone, down the buttock, down the outside, around to the inside, up the inside to the belly button. Trace around to the side or to the back. Go down the back, outer side, come around and up the inner front side. That's yang channel, yin channel flow. 2 more. Down, up, and down, up. And then let's do that forward fold, sort of seesaw, the seesaw practice. So shift your weight into your right leg, and then you fold. The torso and leg find almost parallel to the ground. You're just hanging your right arm like you're trying to get something off the floor. And then teeter-totter back up, seesaw back up to perfectly upright. And then fold. And rise. Fold. And rise. Again, we're liberating ourselves from that stuck feeling by keeping center, keeping balance when we're in these weird and different relationships with gravity. By having our center remain a constant even when we're tipped over and then we come back up. And so letting all that freedom of movement occur. Okay, so now make your way over to the right side chair again. Hand able to touch the chair, but let's try no hands for a moment. Make sure your knees are soft rather than locked. Soft so they can have this little buoyancy. Change your weight to your right leg. Let the weight go down through the right leg. Lift left heel, and get perhaps even to the very tip of the shoe. And then whole foot back down, change. Weight goes down through the left leg, right foot is empty, get to the tip of the shoe, back down, change. Tip of the shoe, down, change, continue. Belly button representing the level of the middle. The belly button to crown of head as this central pillar that whether you're going down through the left leg or right leg and you're changing weight left and right, you want to have this feeling that the central line is not leaning and tilting at this point. We're just keeping a sort of constant upright feeling even though we're changing leg to leg. Now, hand on chair as needed, disconnect the empty foot, reconnect it, change the weight. Once the other foot's empty, get to the tippy toe, disconnect, reconnect, change the weight. Once the foot is empty, disconnect, reconnect, change the weight. Disconnect, reconnect, change, let the weight go down. That chun one, right? So this is jongjang, chun one, letting it settle down, down, down through your full leg so that your other leg is free. And then change. Lift, lower. Level 3, get that leg to come up as high as it can. Use your chair to help you stay balanced so you can really get that range of motion. And then all the way down, completely long and straight but empty. Then change the weight. Other leg, we lift and use the chair to keep you safe so you can really work on getting that range, the full lift, and then the full or the complete lowering, and then change. The complete lift, complete lowering, change. One more of each. Okay, now inside foot. So if you're near your right chair, right foot goes out in front, heel touching. So we have this very sort of small step forward. Now change your weight into your front leg, get to the tippy toe of your back foot, and then change your weight to your back leg, get to the tip of the heel in the front foot. Change the weight. Change the weight. So what Chungwon means is that the primary direction of finding balance is down. So we're shifting and moving forward, but the primary attention should be on the down. And then as you're going backward, the primary direction down. Primary direction down to the earth. That frees up this foot, down to the earth. Now, keeping this front foot empty, lift and lower, and then shift. Primary direction down. That allows you the freedom to then bend that back foot knee, and then shift. I'll turn sideways so you can see these relationships. From the hip, lift, lower, and then down to the earth. Back leg, bend, down. Back to the earth. It's like a little test. You say, how empty have I really gotten that leg? Change. Now, final level 3, use the chair for safety as you work on full range. Lift, lower down to the heel, shift. And then this back leg, not only heel to butt, but bring that knee forward and up. And then reach the toe back, and then shift back. And then front leg knee up, down to the heel, shift. All right, and some of you might play with light touch with the hand. Others, someday you even play with no hands and you really are paying attention to down to the earth. So that's what you come to rely on is, did you get down to the earth? And that's what frees you up to do this other stuff here. One more. Zhong Zheng, Chunwan, Qingling, light and nimble. Switching to the other chair. So bring right foot next to left foot, side step, shift over, hand touching as needed. Let's go to level 1. Left foot in front, heel touching. Level 1 is we stay connected to the ground, nice and easy. This is the best one to practice no hands when you're just getting started with these exercises. Shifting into your front leg, getting to the tippy toe of your back foot, and then shifting into your back leg, getting to the tip of the heel in the front. And then shift and shift. Imagine that teacup sitting on top of your head, undisturbed, because your middle, Zhong Zheng, is just kind of floating along. Floating along. Level 2, use the chair as needed. Front leg lift, lower, shift. Back leg like a little flamingo. Bend the knee, toe down, shift back. Front leg from the hip, lift, lower, shift, down to the earth, flamingo, shift. Hip hinge, shift. Knee bend, shift. One more, level 2. Now use chair for level 3 so we can get the full lift and lower and then shift. And then that back leg, heel to butt and knee forward and up, only to then reach the toe back, touch, shift back. Then we go knee up, heel softly down, shift. Knee forward and up, toe reach back, shift. Up, down, shift. Again, Zhong Zheng, central upright. Let the weight go through to the earth and then use Qingling to move, light, without grabbing. Soft, nimble. All right, switch sides again. Left foot next to right foot, side step, change. Put right foot in front with the heel touching. Next exercise, level 1. So we shift into that right leg, get to the tippy toe, and then just swing that foot through, put the heel in front, and shift forward one more time. So we've changed legs twice. Now change, shifting back so that you're into that right leg, step the left foot back, and then shift into that left leg. Right foot should be empty. So get this 100-0, 100-0 change. 100% into the right so that your left foot steps while floating and empty, and then 100% into the left, get to that tippy toe. And then we go shift, step, shift. Really feel this kind of interesting quality that you're not thinking forwards and backwards, you're thinking down, step, down. And yet you've moved forward in space. And same thing, down, step, down. If you focus on the down and you just move backwards in space, down, down. So whether you're walking, jogging, right, doing athletic movements of any kind, the emphasis is down. That's what gets us this connection to the ground and frees us up to do all the other things we might do. Level 2, hand on chair as needed. So we lift, lower, shift. Now that back foot, we got to step up and over something and then shift. And then this right leg, flamingo, toe down. Now we shift back, left leg comes up, tuck, front leg, lift, lower, shift, step over something, and then shift, and bend, down, shift. So we're adding test of truly lift, lower, shift. Continue doing that. All right, finally level 3, knee up, heel softly down. Change, now we just exaggerate, heel to butt, knee up, foot out, lower the leg, all the while staying vertical, shift. Then we bring this knee forward and up, only to now reverse this. Toe back, shift. Then left knee up, tuck, reach, shift. And then we go up, down, shift. So this is like blazing a trail, or if you were trying to sort of civilize an area in the forest, you have to cut back the bramble and clear back just the tangled up areas. And so here, you know, rarely when you're walking through the supermarket do you need to walk like this. But by clearing out all this area, then you have all this room to have your regular walking feel much easier. Plus, it's just healthy for the joints, tissues, and brain to have all this sort of network connection. Let's switch sides. Side step. Level 1. Put left foot in front. Shift. Step. Shift. Now, if all we ever do is walk with this very, let's say, minimalist movement, what happens as we're aging, this is for all of us, right, is what they call truncation. Truncation, which is basically use it or lose it. So if all we're doing is taking these very small, narrow steps, but yet we're getting older and older every year, then the brain is slowly encroaching. So it's kind of like the trees and the bramble and all of that is encroaching, so that eventually we're stuck inside a very small interior space. So that's why this is important to walk. This is how we walk across the room, but we have to also push back and open up those spaces, which is why level 2, level 3, and Tai Chi, lower, shift. And of course, there are moments in life where you have to step over things, where you have to move your body, and you want to be able to keep this middle, keep this internal equilibrium, regardless of what is happening. So if this leg goes up, it doesn't throw your body totally out of position. If there's something on the ground, you got to step over it. You don't have to, you know, hustle and sort of risk it. Instead, you're just under control the whole time. This is always a little harder, going backwards. We want to make sure our brain has this full omnidirectional awareness. One more, level 2. And this practice of arms loose. Notice anytime you find yourself holding, 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 or holding, just drop. And when you drop this area empties out. And what you find is chunwon, softening down through the earth. Let's go level 3. Use the chair as needed. Knee up, heel down. Shift, then heel to butt, knee up, foot out. So again, we're blazing trail. We're clearing bramble. Same thing here, all the way up, back, shift, then knee, tuck, reach, shift, up, down, shift, full step. Level 3. And back. Now, you guys stay as you are. I'm just adjusting. Okay. Now, we're all facing the same direction now. Move to the left side of your space and then turn and face across. You got a runway in front of you. Level 1. Empty your left foot, put it in front. Shift. Remember, primary direction down, step. Shift. Down, step. Down, step. Down, step. Be a little more careful on your way backwards. Down through to the earth. Make sure the front foot is now empty. Keep it empty as you find the floor with your tippy toe. And then shift. Front foot empty, float it back. It's empty, ching ling, light. And then shift. 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 And your chairs are on your left for safety. Now I want to point out one other thing here. Just look at the screen. So if I walk backwards towards you, one mistake people often make is this. They're stepping sort of underneath and behind themselves, and eventually you sort of end up tripping over your own feet. And what we want to think about is keeping a sort of hip distance. So rather than here, think about using these outer butt, outer hip muscles. But when you step back, keep the foot out a little bit, shift. Same thing, as this foot comes back, don't let it migrate here, have it come out a little, which requires, again, this hip strength. And then shift. Keep it out a little, shift. Out a little, shift. Out. So you're keeping a hip distance. So let's walk forward and backwards again. Again, down through, down through, down through. Down, down, down. Keeping that bit of width, like I pointed out. Now, level 2, lift, lower. We go shift, step up and over something. Shift, make sure the foot is empty, then it's free to step up and over. Shift, up and over. Shift, up and over. Shift. Practicing the feeling of being grounded. And in Tai Chi, they say, under the feet, 3 feet under the feet. So into the ground, let your body weight go. Kind of like you're plugging into a socket. That's how I always think of it now. It's that I'm actually letting myself plug into the groundedness. And then I use my other leg to plug into the groundedness. And my other leg, and my other leg. And if we could do handstands, we would then be using our hands. Or if you're doing yoga and you're doing a headstand, you're plugging into the ground through your head. So we're not stuck using one particular area to be grounded. It's more of a quality of connectedness to the ground. Now, come back to your chair. Sit in your chair. Let's take just a momentary break before we do our final little set. Rub your thighs, knees, fold and get your lower shin, calf, ankle, and then just sit for a moment and do nothing. 10 breaths. All righty, now let's do our side steps. Slide your feet back, fold, standing up. Move to the left side of your space. Weight into your left leg, right foot empty, side step out, in, out, in. Continue that. So it's your right leg going out, in, out, in. Important point here is the quad. When I step out and I keep my weight in this left leg, I'm opening this groin area and then I'm closing that quad or groin area. Opening, closing. Most of the time when we're not paying attention, we kind of keep it closed and we just lumber over this way and lumber back that way. So we want to open and close. Now, put that right foot out, close this quad, open this one. So by keeping your left foot down on the ground, you have to open this quad. And then close this quad and open this one again. Pelvis, spine, rib cage, head, moving freely, keeping that upright quality between this interior real estate, this playground inside here that for many people is closed. Now, don't make the mistake of doing this and this. That's another mistake where we jam into our hips. Go only the amount over so that the weight goes down through to the earth. And then only the amount till your weight goes down through to the earth. Don't go too far because then you lose that plug into the ground. Now, stay in your right leg, left foot empty, left quad open, close the quad, open it, close, open, close, open, close, open. The looser, more relaxed, and more grounded, the swifter, right? The quicker your movement can be, but not because you're so damn strong, but because you're so loose. Light, nimble, right? Now, bring that left leg in. Let's have both quad closed and find our way down through each leg. So change your weight to your left leg. Right foot should be empty enough to, like you see mine lifting. I don't need you to lift your foot, but just feel that, okay, it's empty. And then change back to the right leg, left foot empty. And then again, change. So this one really is a great exercise for finding not only this groin quad, as they call it, the quad, but also the belly button, lumbar spine mechanism, right? So that when we're changing, we're getting this sort of soft little adjustment here and adjustment here. It's like there's a pivot right in this area that gets stuck. More and more as we age, it gets stuck and more stuck unless we keep it open. So find that internal mechanism. Now, the next time you're through your left leg, let's go right foot out. That's right quad open, left quad stays closed. And then close right, open left. And then bring in. But this foot stays empty. Then both are closed, go down through your left leg. Step right out by opening right quad. Change, close, right, open, left, bring it in. Change, open, close, open, close. Change, open, close, right, open, left, bring it in. One more. Now, switching directions, come in, back out, Now we close left, open right, bring right foot in. Change to the right leg. Now open left, then close left, open right, then bring that right in, closing both. Change. Open, close, open, close. So now we get to move through space and really just pay attention to your vertical core. And the outer body is loose and light rather than this big thing we got to lumber around. If we can find our middle, then we get to really move and yet never feel like we're putting ourselves in major risk. Let's go there and back one more time. Out, shift, in, shift, out, shift. And so speed, meaning getting from A to B in a shorter amount of time, usually we tense up and hurry, right? And with my work with the Parkinson's folks, that is no longer an option, right? If you tense up and try to hurry, you end up getting stuck in place. And so this more efficient, think about more relaxed and more precise technique to say, boom, boom, in, boom, boom. And you start to stack the movements on top of each other, but you're not rushing. You're just being more precise, more efficient, more smooth as your way of staying fast, staying nimble. All right, and let's finally finish with the rotational steps. Come right between your chairs. Empty your right leg. Turn right leg out 90 degrees. Turn it back to neutral. And then that same right leg internally rotate. Turn toes in, heel out. And now let's skip neutral and just turn out, turn in. Let the pelvis and the torso turn. So now my head, my belly button are pointing to this right corner a little bit. And then I'm pointing to this left corner a little bit. My left leg is the only really sturdy piece I need. The rest of this can be free to move, loose. And switch legs. Now, neutral right leg, change the weight. Turn left leg out, little angle to the corner. And then in. Out. In. So if you get that connection correct with the one leg, then the rest of the body is free, nimble, light. Back to neutral. And then let's walk around in a circle. Right foot turn out. Change the weight into the right leg. Bring your left foot to match it. Change the weight to the left leg. Turn your right foot out. Body kind of turns a little bit. And then shift and finish that quarter turn. Empty the right foot. Turn the foot and the belly and the gaze. And then shift. Bring yourself to neutral. Right foot turn out. Shift. Back to facing forward. Now let's go to the left. Left foot turn out. Shift and bring everything to match. Left foot empty, turn out. Shift, everything comes to match. Left foot turn out. Shift and turn. Left foot turn out. Now right foot turn in. Shift into the right leg. Bring the left foot to match. Again, right foot turn in. Shift. Bring everything to match. In. Bring it to match. In. Match. Other direction. Left foot turn in. Bring the right foot to match it. Left foot empties, turns in. Bring it to match. In, match, in, match, and then finally putting those two together. Right foot turns out, shift into it, and turn your left foot in so that you're turning completely 180 degrees or close to it in just 2 foot movements. And then do that one more time. Right foot turn out, shift, turn left foot in, shift, facing forward. Go around again. Right foot turn out, shift. Left foot turn in, shift. Right foot turn out, left foot turn in. All the while, primary direction is down. Then put the weight in the right leg 2 times to your left. Left foot turn out, shift. Right foot turn in, shift. Left foot turn out, so we're just rotating in space, changing our orientation to whatever we're dealing with around us. Go around that second time. One empty, one full, other empty, other full. And finally, neutral. Hands together. Rub. Then take the hands to the quad, groin area. Hip flexors, front of the hips, thighs, around to the tail, sacrum, up onto your lumbar. And then like we did our squat, stick your butt a little bit back. Sweep the hands down the outside of the legs, around to the inside, come all the way up the inside, past the groin to the navel. And then quad, hip flexors, sacrum and tail, up onto your lower back. And then sit like a squat, sweeping hands down, around the outside, and up to the middle. One more, quad. Hip flexors to the sacrum, to the lumbar, and sweep. And then up the outer right arm to the shoulder, turn right arm up, sweep down off the fingertips, repeat on the right arm, up, down, up, down. This is just like a chi reset. And other side, up the outer, turn, down the inner, outer, inner. And then we close with this gesture, wings, turn palms up, bend at elbows, hands come up over top, and then settle all the way down, right to belly button height here, and then go 1, 2. 3 breaths, let everything relax. And feel your 3 principles we looked at, just kind of consider them. Zhong, central upright. Chunwon, relaxing to find stability. And Qingling, light and nimbleness is what is left when you do that correctly. And you settle out all tension, then you're just light and nimble. So keep playing with this through your day. Every single thing you do is an opportunity to remember, how's my uprightness? How's my looseness? Am I being efficient and precise when I go get that teacup? When I go to open the door, if I have to pick something up, how am I, paying attention to my body and its sort of quality? So thank you, everybody. Well done. If there are any questions, feel free to unmute and ask. And we're a little over time, so if you have to leave, you can just wave and bye. But any thoughts or anything?
I have a